All right, y'all. So I've been talking about the Warriors a lot lately, right? And I don't mean to, but this is one of those videos, bro, where it's kind of like the subject I feel like has to be talked about. So for y'all that missed it, the Warriors played the Magic last night. They beat them. It was in Orlando. It was a cool win. Like the Magic, our playoff team, it was a cool win, right? The Warriors needed it because Houston is right on their tail for that 10 seed spot in the West, right? But the storyline of the game wasn't the Warriors winning. It wasn't Curry having another inefficient night like he's been doing for a lot of the season post All Star break this year. It wasn't even Curry doing his night celebration. He was literally doing it the whole length of the court. Like he was walking down, staring at the fans, just like, and it was crazy, bro. He's so disrespectful. But anyway, I love it. Um, the storyline wasn't about any of that. It wasn't about Wiggins had a great game. It wasn't about anything like that. It was about Draymond Green getting ejected less than 4 minutes into the game in the first quarter. So Draymond's done some wild things. You know this in the last season alone, and then if we go back to last playoffs, we know that clothesline, the stomp on Sabonis' chest, right? We know about all these things. He literally, let's just talk about some of the things he's done in his career: stomping people on Sabonis, kicking people in the groin like Steven Adams, LeBron in the finals, like crazy things. Punching teammates in Jordan Poole, clotheslining people, tackling people. There's that one famous clip. I think it was versus the Rockets or something like a few years ago. He like something happened and he was on the other side of the floor on the ground. He ran to the other side of the court just to tackle the dude from behind. Like, okay, but whatever. Tackle's now illegal in football, but anyway. Um, and luckily for Draymond, this time it wasn't anything too bad. It wasn't egregious. He didn't close on anyone. He didn't punch anyone. He didn't do anything crazy. But at a certain point, bro, it gets ridiculous. Like getting two texts within the first 4 minutes of the game, just simply for talking to the refs about a call they made, and I don't even think the foul call was even on him. I think it was on Wiggins or something. Bro, you get two texts for that. And basically what he was doing, he was just getting in the ref's face, yelling. He was doing what he does all the time. Like you see LeBron do it too, to a lesser extent, kind of. But he was pleading his case. And really, my problem isn't even with him debating the ref. The problem with me, well, for me personally, and I think with a lot of fans, was the fact that he didn't stop after he got the first tech. Like, bro, Curry's right there. You can see if you go look at the clip. I'm not gonna play it because again, I don't want to get copyrighted. But if you go look at the clip, this man Curry was literally standing right next to him. He was listening, and like you could see him, and like kind of at the bottom of the clip, you could see like him putting his hand on his chest, or, like on his stomach, and like trying to get him to like back away. Like Curry wasn't saying anything crazy because that's what they do. The Warriors don't do any accountability. It looks like that's not a shot at Curry. That's a shot at the organization. Like y'all have to hold this man accountable at some point beyond just saying, "Oh yeah, go ahead and go to therapy." Let's be real. So he got tossed for that. You can see Steph right next to him trying to stop him, and that's what my problem is. It's like, bro, okay. Let me start this off by saying Draymond Green will be a Hall of Famer. He is one of the most important pieces, one of the most important reasons that the Warriors got their 4 rings in the last like what 8. And those 8 years they got 4 rings throughout that time. Now I think it's been like 4 in the last 10, but in those 4 years they won a ring, took 8 years to get 4 rings. So he was one of the biggest reasons that happened, right? That's good for him. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest defenders ever. He has a DPOY. I'm not taking anything away from him. And he's over 30 with the family. He's like 33 or something like that with the family and kids. I'm not going to bash him or anything like that. I don't know this man. I'm not going to bash his character. So let me just start off by saying that I will never do that. But you're telling me, as you recognize, and I'm sure he thinks of himself as one of the most important pieces because he is one of the most important pieces. Your team is trying to make a playoff push. A legendary organization with one of the top 7 greatest players of all time in Steph Curry that's getting older. He's 35 years old. He is trying to get this team he's trying to get this team into the play-in and then hopefully into the playoffs, depending on who they see in the play-in. Because it looks like the Lakers could make it to the 8th seed, which would be interesting. Because then both Golden State and LA could get in. That'd be crazy. But anyway. So you have your best franchise player ever getting older, trying to get another ring, and right now just even trying to stay in the play-in. And you can't simply stop screaming in the ref's face, dog. Like, you just can't do that. Like, after the first take, you didn't say, you know what? Let's go ahead and chill. Because the first take is already bad enough. Like, first of all, it's the first quarter. You're beating the Magic. They held the Magic to 11 points in that first quarter, but at the time, it was like a close game at the time. They might have even been down at the time when he got ejected. So, like, one take is already bad enough. You got the Rockets, who just won 10 straight games. Jalen Green's balling. They got Tari Eason out here calling out the Warriors, which I think he will regret. But anyway. And you got all this stuff happening. Rockets are the 11th seed, 1 game behind you, literally 1 game behind you. So then you get the second tech, get tossed within 4 minutes of the game starting, and you risk your team losing this game, and then in turn being in the 11th seed, and now you're having to fight just to get up, just to catch up to the Rockets. That's what you risk for this, bro. Just for a call that wasn't even made about you. For not you didn't do anything crazy. You were just yapping, and you could have stopped. I feel like as a grown man with kids and everything like this, you have to have the self-control to be able to say, let's take a step back, let's chill out. I see what I'm doing. I'm going to hurt my team if I'm gone. I'm a key piece. I'm a starter for a reason. I have been a starter for my whole career for a reason, right? And luckily for him, they won the game. Because if they didn't win, it's already a big topic everywhere. But if they didn't win the game, it would have been so much worse, bro. You have Steph Curry over there crying, literally crying. You can go look at the clip. This man literally crying after Draymond gets ejected. And this man, like, I don't know if Steph has anything going on outside the court. I do not know. That's not my business. But he just looks so frustrated. You can see him shaking his head, crying. Like, he was so mad. Because, first of all, he's one of the greatest of all time. He recognizes that he has not been playing like that since the All-Star break. I'm sure that is frustrating him. He's got Draymond out here that's been doing these antics. Draymond was literally suspended for a few games. Like, the Warriors have had a crazy season. They literally had one of their assistant coaches pass away, and we hate to see that. Like, they've had a crazy season, right? Like, Jordan Poole's gone. They've had Chris Paul. They've had a lot of injuries. They've had a lot of problems. Like, Clay's been coming off the bench. Well, I think he's starting now, actually, but he was coming off the bench for a good stretch of games. Like, this is all the stuff Steph has going on, and that's just on the court basketball related. And then you add to it by getting a tech, and you're in a crucial stretch of the season. This is probably the most crucial stretch of the season for the Warriors this year in the regular season. And this is what he does. And let's go back and look at the history, because this wouldn't be such a big deal if it was just one. He got ejected within 4 minutes of the game. Oh, well. Let's look at the history of it. There's a reason that this is such a big topic. So, let's go back to Game 5 of the 2016 NBA Finals, where the Warriors are up 3-1. Draymond in Game 4 kicks LeBron in the nuts, like stands up under LeBron, whatever, right? He gets suspended for Game 5 of the Finals, which to me is insane. You cannot suspend him for Game 5 of the Finals for anything less than punching somebody on the court or doing something crazy. To me, that's the Finals. Like, a game in the playoffs, maybe, but the Finals, dog, the biggest stage when you are trying to go repeat back-to-back, you are the best team ever, you have the unanimous MVP, the only one to this day. Anyway, that's a whole different video, but anyway. So you could easily argue that Draymond getting himself suspended for that game cost the Warriors that Finals. And there was other factors, like you should never blow 3-1 in the Finals, especially when you're a 73-9 right? There were other factors. But to me, that was the biggest reason. And you could easily argue, if they won that Game 5 and Draymond was playing, that he would have been Finals MVP. Now, Steph should have been it in 2015. You will never convince me otherwise. But anyway, you could easily argue Draymond cost himself not only a ring in 2016, but a Finals MVP. And he said after that Finals, he said, you know what? I learned my lesson. I'll never do it again. I cost my team a championship. He lied. Let's be real. He capped. That was cap. He has not learned his lesson. Over the last few years, you could legitimately argue, and I would argue, he's gotten worse. Let's look at this. After the 2022 championship, let's look at what happened with him. We know about what happened with Poole. Everybody has seen that video, bro. Everybody knows what happened with Poole. That's a big part of the reason Jordan Poole is in Washington, D.C. now. That's probably the main reason Jordan Poole is in Washington, D.C. now. And let's look at some things from more recently. Sabonis in the playoffs last year. What did he do? He stomped on him. And Sabonis was playing victim a little bit. I'm not going to lie. He was holding his leg, right? But he stomped on his chest. Okay. And then this year, he clotheslines Nurkic. And then what did he do? It was like versus the Hawks or something like a few days ago. Like it was, or I don't remember who it was versus, but it was versus a team. And he literally, or it was versus the Heat. That's who it was. He like threw somebody down to the ground, and it wasn't even called a tech. It wasn't called a flagrant or anything. But it should have been. Looking at that replay, I wasn't watching that game the whole way. But looking at the replay, bro, that should have 1,000% have been a flagrant at the very minimum. Because if you're getting a flagrant for landing in a shooter's zone when he's like trying to land, if you get a flagrant for being in that zone, brother, Draymond should have definitely got a flagrant. Let's be real. So if literally, and this man was he was suspended. He was forced to be suspended indefinitely to undergo therapy, counseling, all this stuff, right? And he came back. I don't know how long he was suspended for, like 10, 15 games, something like that. He was gone and whatever, that hurt the Warriors too, but whatever. He comes back. The Warriors have been playing pretty well, you know what I'm saying? Not great because, like I said, they are the 10 seed, but it's hard to do when you literally only have one star. You have one good player. Like, every other good player has another teammate that is, like, on the same caliber or close to it. On these really contending teams, Steph Curry doesn't have that, right? So it's amazing they're even the 10 seed. If it wasn't for him, them boys would be picking in the top 5 right now, like next year. So that counseling did not work. He lied about, he obviously, even whether his intentions were to lie about it or not, he did not learn his lesson. So the counseling didn't work. He didn't learn his lesson after the 2016 finals. All right, whatever. Homestead is a team that already has a lot of questions to answer, right? And like, especially about its core, they don't know. Like, they're getting older, bro. Curry's 35, Clay is older. He's in his 30s and he has a lot of injury history. Draymond's in his 30s and he's not giving you the production you like. Like, he's doing what Draymond does, which is valuable for the Warriors. But if you want to get a second star, bro, you're probably gonna have to get rid of them for the cap, for the money. Um, so I just feel like Draymond and his antics, and then Clay not being consistently good, is making it harder for the Warriors to be able to justify to their fans keeping them. Now, do I believe they will keep both of them? Yes, because I simply don't see either one of them playing in any jersey other than a Warriors jersey. And I think the fans will be okay with it because it's like, bro, you got 4 rings. You don't really, you're so spoiled. You have nothing to complain about, right? Like, there are teams that haven't won rings ever, and there are teams that haven't won rings since the '90s. Like, the Celtics have 17 rings; they haven't won one since '08. Like, the Bulls have 6 rings, haven't won one since '98. Like, you have nothing to complain about. So I do believe the Warriors will keep both of them because they could easily convince their fan base, hey, bro, first of all, we still got 30, so you don't have anything to complain about because we still got 30. That is always enough. And then second, you have 4 rings out of it. Like, that should be enough as well, right? And then if you always got the 49ers who are over there successful, like the Giants, aren't terrible, I don't think, in baseball. So, like, San Francisco, the city, the area, the Bay Area has a lot going for it in terms of sports, right? That's good. That's great for them. But we're at a point now where fans, the media, even it seems like his teammates like Steph are kind of fed up with it all, bro. Like, Steph wasn't crying for no reason. I guarantee you they've had conversations about this. Steph has told him how vital he is and everything like that. I'm sure Steph has made it of the utmost importance. And it is so, I can't imagine how frustrating it is. You know how passionate, how competitive, how everything Steph Curry is, bro. And I can't blame him for being fed up with it. He's been dealing with it his whole career. And part of it is kind of him and the organization's fault. Like, y'all should have made him take accountability for this way earlier, like in the finals. When that happened, he should have had accountability then. It should have never happened again. But it has continued to happen. So, me personally, I hated the look for the Warriors. I hated the look for Draymond. And I'm very interested to see how they're going to kind of deal with everything that's going on, how they're going to deal with their core pieces, what they're going to do about, hey, do we really ruin the entire future of this organization for the next however long just to keep these 3 together? Do we do that with Steve Kerr? Because a lot of people have been on Steve Kerr's neck recently too. Do they do that? And I'm very interested to see what the Warriors are going to do. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul, his contract, I'm pretty sure he's on 1 year, so, like, that's not a big deal. Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kamiko, all these guys are really good pieces. I personally believe Moses Moody deserves more minutes, especially the way he had Paolo locked up last night. But, like I said, I couldn't see either well, definitely not Steph, but I could not see either Clay or Draymond in any other jersey, so I don't think they're going to be gone. But I do think if I'm the GM, if I am, I think it's Mike Dunleavy is his name now. It's not Bob Myers anymore, I know that. I think it's Mike Dunleavy's his name. Bro, if I'm him, I'm really thinking hard, and I'm talking to Steph, like, what's your opinion on if we get rid of these guys and try to make these last 4 or 5 years of your career as good as we can make them, and try to get, like, some young pieces to, I guess, develop, and try to maybe get him another ring before he retires for the next 4-ish years. I don't know how long he's got, but I'm going to say 4 or 5 years probably, somewhere, maybe 5 to 7, somewhere around there. 7's a lot, though. I don't know about all that, but somewhere around there, right? I'm very interested to see what the Warriors are going to do. I'm very interested to see what their offseason is going to look like, because every day, I'm not going to lie, I lose faith. And like I said, they were one of those teams in my tier list about my contenders. It's like, I'm not ever going to count them out. They have Steph Curry, but every day it's like, you have Steph Curry, but you only have Steph Curry. Like, the Lakers, I'm not counting them out because they have Bron, but they also have AD and role players that I believe in. And, like, Kuminga's had a good year. Podziemski, he can be good. Moses Moody's a great defender. He has good moments. Wiggins, if he can be the 2022 Wiggins, is very good. Like, these things are good, right? And we know what Clay and Draymond are, and very inconsistent now, but we know what they can do. So I'd love to hear what y'all think about this. I can't wait to see what the Warriors do in the offseason. I'm very interested to see what they choose. And I really do think I'm starting to agree with some people where it's kind of like Draymond might be approaching that point where it's like you might be a little more trouble than you're worth at this point, at this stage of your career, and I hate that. Because I do like Draymond, and I know he has a family and everything like that. I would never want to wish anything negative. I don't want anybody to lose their job or anything. But it's like, the Warriors organization has to be thinking at this point, is he more trouble than he's worth? What do we do about this? So like I said, bro, y'all let me know how y'all feel. I want to know if y'all think I missed anything, if y'all think I'm overreacting and the media is overreacting. I'm very interested to see what y'all think. So let me know that in the comments down below. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Keep praying, stay blessed, and please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. So I love y'all, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. So yeah, have a good rest of y'all day. Love y'all.